Hello and welcome to my channel where we may be dazed, but we are not confused. This is a castle in the sky reading for the sign of Aquarius. So the purpose of this reading is to take a look at some of the things that you might have been hoping to accomplish or a dream that you had that you really wanted to make happen. However, you were not able to do that because something kind of got in the way of that. So we'll take a look at what the obstacle was, as well as some advice on what you can do moving forward to try to help yourself align with the energies of that which will help to make this a reality for you. All right. So without further ado, let's take a look at the Rider-Waite Tarot. I will be using a number of oracle decks as well in this reading. Okay. So looking at your cards, this is a little different because it looks as if whatever it was that you viewed as your castle in the sky idea, that thing that can be very difficult to attain and make a reality because it's so fantastical, it's so wonderful that it's hard to find support for it, or it's difficult to sometimes bring it into reality. I feel like you received some bad news that you were wanting to do something that was going to be a source of injustice to you. Like you were not being told the truth about the backstory with it, or something that was going on behind the scenes that was not fair to you. I feel like it was kind of meant, whatever it was that you were trying to do, it was going to ultimately drain you and take away your strength and energy, because there was almost this sense of being deluded into thinking that this was something that you really wanted for yourself and that you wanted to make happen. But I feel like maybe you got some bad news with some, hidden information or some details that you were not privy of, that just made you realize that you had made this plan, or you had envisioned this thing based off of a faulty foundation of something surrounding you. I'm picking up it has to do with something around, like in your environment, either people or something that you were factoring in that was not going to be fair to you. So taking a look at the reason why this happened, I got the tribe reversed. And this is funny because I also got this card on the Libra reading, as well as the strength in reverse and that as well. So if you haven't had a chance to check that one out, maybe you can and see if anything resonates there. So you have people around you that are not really supportive of you, and they're not on the same page. And what you were trying to do, I feel like maybe you were being kind of encouraged to do this thing, and it was, a part of a group, a part of this, this idea that everybody's working together to do this thing. But maybe deep down inside, you knew it wasn't something that you really wanted to do, that it didn't fully resonate with you, but you wanted to be a team player and go along with it. But once you kind of got more of the details behind the scenes, you recognized that this was not what you were trying to get into at all. And not only that, but you felt like this entire vision that you had was based off of a delusion, because you were being deluded by individuals around you who did not have the same agenda that you did. Okay, so that was the injustice, and that's what was going to drain you, was that you were putting so much time and effort and energy into doing something that you kind of didn't really want to do, and that also the people around you didn't really want to do, and it just would have been an injustice I feel like to everybody, because nobody really wanted to do it. I think everybody was maybe like gassing each other up and saying like, yeah, this is a good idea. Yeah, we're going to do this and this and this. But people's hearts really weren't into it. So I'm picking up like, I feel like maybe everybody involved was kind of selling themselves short for one reason or another. And, when it fell through, it was just like all the different layers began to unravel, and it became very evident about how off this was. So let's take a look at the advice cards to see what advice you can get about this to try to maybe turn this around, or get a new track with it, or just a different way of looking at it. Okay, so the first card that I have here is I am light. And so this is a woman that's holding a lantern and kind of guiding the way. And I feel like maybe this had to do with like leadership. Maybe you felt like you were the leader in this group and you were trying to show a way to come together and do something. However, it wasn't something you really wanted to do and something that they wanted to do either. So let's see what it says. It says, I carry the lamp of love to light the way for others. I will choose to show them the garden made for us, where hope and peace reside. There is much light in this dark world. So I feel like whatever you were trying to do, it was to try to be like an example for others, to kind of be an inspiration. And I feel like the intentions were good. And maybe that's the glue that held everybody and everything together, was that it was for some cause that was, higher than yourself, higher than what it was that you felt individually that you could bring to the situation. However, this didn't quite come together because the individual hearts of the people were not in it. And so it's good when you have something that you can kind of work on together, when you can come together, but the hearts and souls need to also be in it as well in order to make it really work. Okay, so the next card I have is Duck, and it says, find comfort and balance in simple ways. You have support all around you. So I feel like this is saying that maybe this idea that you had was actually very much a castle in the sky idea because it was not on a good foundation. And this is saying to maybe find comfort and balance in ways that are more simple, and that you do have support all around you. So perhaps if you were to maybe change what it is that you were doing and maybe make it more in alignment with what the people actually feel like they can be more dedicated to, or something that's more attainable and that's more in alignment with the hopes and desires of the people that are working, that you would have that support and you can find comfort and balance within that in ways that are more simple. Maybe this was a very complex idea or complex undertaking that kind of maybe took the joy out of doing it. It took the, it was very draining, and it's something that kind of made people, lose their enthusiasm for it. I'm picking that up as well. There was a loss of enthusiasm. Next, we have gratitude, the gratitude list. It says, counting your blessings and feeling gratitude for what you already have helps you to be centered in your heart instead of fixated on worries in your mind. What and who are you grateful for right now? Keep focusing upon gratitude, and you'll discover the amazing generosity of this universe. So I feel like perhaps as you were doing this, maybe there were lots of individuals that felt like their needs were not being met, or they had like very specific requests that could not be met. And there was always something wrong. Okay. So, and someone felt like it wasn't fair. Like for each person that got something that they felt like it would work, another person would say, well, that's not fair. Or, another person felt empowered and another individual felt disempowered. When one person got enthusiastic, another was not enthusiastic. And the bad news was that, people were not going to be able to be creatively engaged enough to come together to make it work. All right, because people were not in alignment. And so this is saying that if you focus on what you are grateful for and the things that are working out instead of all the things that are not working out, that could help shift the perspective around enough, not just for you, but for if there are other people involved in this. And it could be the morale booster that you need. Because, the last thing people need to hear when they're trying to make something happen that they may not even really be that into anyway, is everything that they're doing wrong, or all the things that could go wrong, that should go wrong, and most certainly all the things that are going wrong. That's a surefire way to drain the enthusiasm out of those individuals. All right, so this is saying to maybe take a personal stock in what it is that you are thankful for. And then you can even use that list to see what you are grateful for and put your energy towards trying to enhance the things that you already have, as opposed to trying to go after something that you think might be better than what you have, but it's not necessarily so. And not only that, it's not something that you're really passionate about or that you really just need to have so badly. All right. The next card we have is Begin Now. It says, take your first step. So, perhaps what was also taking place that was blocking this thing was a sense of like procrastination, because you had to make sure that this thing was perfect and you had all this stuff lined up and that lined up. And so you just kept pushing it back, not taking action, not doing this, not doing that. And then the lack of enthusiasm combined with not actually getting anywhere with it may have caused things to tank and result in the creative energies that people were bringing to the situation being zapped and drained. All right. And then not wanting to help anymore, or not wanting to stick with it, or leaving and going to another project or another group or another social group or whatever it was. So begin now. Okay, focus on what you can do now. And then the last card we have from the Peace Oracle deck is Gratitude. So that's 2 gratitude cards here in your advice for what you can do to turn the situation around. So in this field, there are sunflowers. I feel like it's like sunflowers at sunset. And, for me, the sunflower is a very beautiful flower with the spiritual meaning. Is just about being in your power. I think of it as like the flower that talks about, I associate it very much like with Leo energy as well. There are sunflowers on the sun card, which you do have, but it's in the reverse. And I feel like it's saying that you can get your sense of reinvigoration and your sense of power and your sense of being connected with the energy of like your inner child, being in alignment with something that you're passionate about as well, and that you're trying to make happen from a very pure place, and you really, really care about it, and it's something that really resonates for you, because remember, we said that this was something that you could probably do without, and everyone else too. But it's going to come from a place of gratitude. It's going to come from a place of looking at what you already have versus what you don't, looking at the have versus the have not, and really focusing on that in order to shift your perspective so that you can reinvigorate whatever it is that you're putting this energy into. All right. So for gratitude, we have gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. Melody Beatty. Every sunset brings fresh reasons for thanks. Acknowledge the gifts of this day with grace and gratitude. The many-splendored hand of life reaches out to you in thanks for all you bring to the world. Return the gratitude by living this day well. Rejoice in the glory of life. Seek out the positives in a situation. Appreciate all that is before you. Keep your eyes peeled for a diamond in the coal pile. Something good has begun. How lucky I am. I make a difference to the world, and the world is thankful for me. My heart sings with the gifts of joy, love, and gratitude. I am openly and generously thankful for all I can give, feel, and be today. Blessings to all. All right. So this really speaks to me about endings, okay, and new beginnings. So whatever this was that you were trying to do, it could be something that is just maybe not going to work. And if it's not going to work, it could be a situation of recognizing that so that you can move forward and move into something that will, and align with people that are on the same wavelength so that you can better appreciate what it is that you're able to create based upon whatever desire or whatever goal it is that you have. Okay. I feel like a big part of that is looking at the positives, finding the diamond in the coal pile. So there might be a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things that don't work, a lot of things that, it could be a resources thing. It could be that you don't have all the resources you need and you're having to make do with what you have, and it's not looking like what you thought. And so this is saying, look for the diamond in the coal pile and focus on that. Basically, try to find the good in the situation and expand the positives. Focus on those positives and try to make that the focus in order to do better at whatever it is that you're trying to do, okay? All right, so that's what I have for you, Aquarius, for your Castle in the Sky reading. I hope that this was helpful for you for whatever your dream was, and that you were able to get a little bit of insight that can help you redirect and figure out the best direction that you should go in so that you can make this closer to your reality, okay? All right, so that's what I have for you. Thank you for joining me on my channel where we may be dazed, but we are not confused. And until next time, bye-bye.